You good on all right? Where we should start? Where we should start this week? We should start with people who we owing, make her feel like I owing some people some things, I sit down here last week. Welcome back to the Corie Sheppard podcast. Nice to have all you back and so on. Nice to see all you in the comments giving feedback. It good to sometimes I really enjoy talking to myself, I just enjoy coming here and talking to myself. Wait, and nobody who could respond to nothing. Because to tell you the truth, when the comments start, right, and I pour this episode, I just be struggling to remember what it is exactly I say the week before, But I want to start by making amends. I want to start by making amends and making peace. All right, you hold on. You don't come in so fast. I want to start by making amends and peace. Because I sit down here last week, do a whole episode about words and the wordiest songs in the world. And I'm one of the comments. I want to salute people who've been listening to solo episodes for a long time, right? It's been a long time, so they like to call my bluff and point out all my wrongdoings. But the most obvious calypso it have about words was sung by a gentleman by the name of the Mighty Conqueror, right? And I had to play the whole song before. So this is part of last week's episode, right? This is last week's episode continued. And if you're having any kind of arthritis, bursitis, tendonitis, or any kind of itis, including the N-word itis and them kind of thing, I don't know if you're going to like the music in the rest of the episode because it's steam. From there on in, it's very, very steamy. So I'm playing this up front for you for last week. Sap your foot and get ready because the rest of the episode could be very, very painful if you try to dance to some of them tunes. But let me start with Conqueror now.
The Trinidadian slang is amusing, but most foreigners may find it confusing. So as I see it is necessary, Trinidad should have its own dictionary. We all consent English very hard to learn, so we invent a language of our own. But if you just land here, you in a monkey pants, to understand you won't stand a chance. Like if we say, she try to mama guy he this jagabat, well not a foreigner at all can interpret that. That means she try to make he a kunumunu, meaning she want a man she and she sweet man too. So he beat the wabin till she bazodi. As you should see, you can't disagree with me, papi. Webster should have come to Trinidad to complete the dictionary. You must call it in. Take for instance, one day they hear a native say, the banker have me neighbor looking so total be. A foreigner go bang to jump off his seat and say the banker is a sweet piece of meat to eat. And if you try to convince him, he may tell you lie. The banker can't bring out tears to a big man eye. No, may shout Mr. Sneeze and go and tell your wife the banker for breakfast, please. Here we again. This big belly woman so kum say, yes. See me raspy child getting cocoa bay. When you try to bamboozle your partner Fred, you're giving him a 6 for 9 instead. So they really should give the first prize to we for our splendid speaking ability. You see, Webster should have come to Trinidad to complete the dictionary. Don't conquer. Well, no one could state how these words originate, but who invent them? They're really great, and I feel the time go rich. The government will teach the school children to use them in speech. And you may hear the dog saying, Suki to move along. Or solo boy, you feel you is a wajang, but I bet in anybody to kabati. None of them ain't go search, no dictionary. Here we again, you have cocoa in the sun, well look out for rain. That is a local quotation we pack with brain. And if you have cocoa bay, try and do get yours. As you should see, the island ram with stars. Now they just say Shakespeare great in philosophy.
Yes.
But they lucky, he never tangle with we. You see, Webster should have come to Trinidad to complete his dictionary. Don't conquer. So then when a tourist visit the island, he wouldn't have to get himself in confusion because he know the same kind of slangs like we, using words like papi, show and basodi. But how you mean? And if by chance you get him in difficulty, he may say wait and take out the dictionary. I bet you're going to get in an awful rage. If when you're talking to he can't find the page. Another thing, every week we'll have to change this dictionary to try and keep up with the slangs in La Trinity. And when the year end, print and the first file again, as you should see. We really will be holding strain, but it would help tourism, this you must agree. A word like Boboli, of course, could be found on the B, you see. Webster should have come to Trinidad to complete the dictionary.
Voice of the great Mighty Conqueror. I know I could forget a song like that in an episode like last week. No, but glad I was enjoying it. Or glad all you enjoying it. I enjoyed it too much, maybe. Let me tell you what I enjoy, right? And where I would need a dictionary, right? As I usually do, when I done these episodes, I do so bam, I say, well, all right, we have things here, we put out that, we watch with feedback and them kind of thing, and we planning for what we're doing next week. Kind of day to day, keeping up with the news, seeing what is happening so we know what to talk about when we come back. We watching the process with the interviews going out. We have interviews. I like that. I enjoy that. I enjoy Michael Callan. Again, one of them conversations that changed the way I see the world. The unique guy. Not what I expected from ambassador of our country at all. I thought it was going to be stiff and I said, going for ambassador. Now I had to behave myself and them kind of thing and talk properly. But boy, cool fellow. Nice team. Salute to his entire team. And as I said last week, the name of the game is keep up, not catch up, right? So I'm assuming all you're up to date with Vera Bajan at this point in time, because Vera, again, salute to Vera. Great episode. I'll tell you this, right? Whether it preempts in your listening, no spoilers, right? But Vera is another one of them episodes where it did not go exactly the way I expected it to go. And it was them things real encouraging for me, right? And I appreciate the people who reach out to say how motivating some of the episodes are. And especially youths, right? Youths, all the way according to Lord Nelson, all the teenagers who's about 80-something, who taking inspiration for this, or from this. From people who basically every week to week, we get high achievers here coming to talk about their stories and so on. But what was real interesting in talking to Vera is that you're conscious, right? You have somebody who has a disability and you want to make sure she's very comfortable and she cool in the space and we as accommodating as we could be. And salute to the team, or to our team, the team at Affordable Imports. We do our best to make sure every guest coming here very, very comfortable. But beyond that, I'm also very conscious of, okay, what kind of questions do I raise with her? What do I avoid? Is there anything we shouldn't talk about? Is there anything too sensitive? And like most guests, she come and say, well, no, you can talk to me about anything. And we start the episode as we usually would any other episode. And I realized in talking to her that she's not allowing herself or anybody else to define her by what she's lacking. I find that was a real important takeaway from the episode, because disability or no disability, in some ways, all of us have disabilities and all of us have superpowers. So you have a decision to make every day you get up, really, as to whether you want to be defined by the things that you feel limit you or the things that make you limitless. It's really a choice we're making every day, because again, when I put myself in her position, my assumption immediately is, oh my God, if I had no arms, I done for. Let me use legs as an example, right? I don't know why. Since I small, I had this dream where, like, I can't walk, I lost my leg or whatever it is. I shouldn't put it out there. Let's edit that part out. But if I just like football, I like my sports, something so much that I just can't imagine. But what if you could just shift that thinking to say, hey, if you like what you like and you're going to do what you're going to do, you're going to find ways to do it. And not because you lose some part of yourself, you must define yourself by that, or it doesn't mean you have to lose yourself. So that, I lose myself, and now I don't know if I asked Vera a question. Now I can't remember. I just ended up listening to Vera for the whole time. Yes, I find that's starting to happen more and more. I stand up, and after I introduce the guests, I go and tell them, no, just talk for 2 hours now. Let me hear how you do what you do and the way you see life. And in that, we take inspiration. So I'm glad that people took inspiration from it and people enjoy it. But that was my week. I sort out, we do what we had to do. Salute to the team. We put together Vera. We have Vera outside. We were looking at the other episodes. We in planning all the time to see what's coming next and where we're going, right? And then in the midst of me doing what I do best, which is lie down and cock up my foot and so on, you know what I mean? I'm done here, I go and rest. I get a call. Now, I am not in the habit of going and read people messages. I don't like it at all. You know, one of the most annoying things you could see with people is people who is go and post messages, like they screenshot a group chat and they send it and they, well, today I'm breaking protocol. And I'm going to read a message that I receive out of the blue. This is on Wednesday, right? I can tell you, from the time I received this message, all the clove, the bengay, the cognac, anything you could sap your foot with and thing, it started to finish immediately. Because I can't say no and I can't make. I saw a flyer come to my phone from a woman by the name of Adana, right? Adana from Creative PR, right? Who I know Adana for a long time. Adana is a creative, or not saying creative, a PR professionals who works with several artists to ensure that the image and all those things. She has a really, really good episode on Sizway's podcast that you should check out, right? Adana Hassan. And we'll have Adana here one day talking about that side of the business where it's about managing artists and managing their image and reputation. But what strikes me as really, really cool and solid about Adana is every time I talk to her about her artist, she talks about the artist in a personal woman to woman or woman to man way. She don't talk about the person like an asset. So one of the things I don't want to give away Sizway podcast, you should really check it out. It's real good. But she was talking about working with Patricia Roberts at the time she found out about Ricardo Drew's death. On air while she in the radio station doing an interview, and she's the one who manages now. So the way she handled that, watch the podcast so you could hear the way she handled it, right? But you see that you have somebody who cares about the person more than the business. Wait, no, there's an ad for Creative PR. But you could see that's how she is. She strikes me as that type of person, and I only know her professionally, right? But I get a message from Adana now. The flyer say, lava birthday steam. First off, right now, I can't read it good. 15th of August, invitation only, powered by steam, right? I say, all right. On the Harbour Master now, about 15 years ago, I swear to everything holy. And my wife carried me on a boat ride. I say, I'm never going back on a boat ride again. I don't like it. I don't like that. I drive all the way to Shagaramas, park my motor car, which is the most expensive asset I have in my life at the time. Come out of my motor car, go on a boat. And them days I live in St. James there. And that boat drive, where the boat is do, sail, drive, whatever it is do, from Chagaramas down there, past where my mother living right on Mokrapa Road, right on the foreshore, past the, I could have go, I studying if I could make this swim, you know. I say I could go home now. I want to leave. I am the king of leaving as soon as the person who invite me see me, I go on. I don't like to go nowhere. So, with due respect to Adana and with all the love in the world, I got this message and I'd like to read people's messages, but Adana, sorry I had to do it. To say, hi Corie, good evening. I don't know if you party, but we are hosting this invitation-only event on Saturday to celebrate Lava's birthday. Now, Adana is the one who we worked with to book Lady Lava. To me, one of the best episodes we ever had, somebody I enjoy talking to. And again, a very, very inspirational story when you see where Lava come from to what she able to achieve now, right? She said, do you want to be in the steam or you're afraid? Now, I'll be honest with you. I will be honest with you here. If that question had reached, if that sentence had stopped at, do you want to be in the steam? I have a newborn. I have the best excuse in the world. I could just say, hey, no, girl, boy, I would love to do that. But I feel, you see how she put you afraid in the hand. I didn't like it. I ain't lying. That rubbed me the wrong way. I did not like it. She say, afraid? How am I going to say afraid? I say, and I like a fool now. I send some laughing emoji, right, to give myself time to think, right? But I say, afraid mean my reputation is a mess, conk made. And boy, she sent 2 tickets to go up in his steam, boy. Let me tell you something. Whew, now on the hook, eh? So from Wednesday, my anxiety on all, because I'm not designed for this, if you know me well enough. I'm not able in no way, function, form, or otherwise I able with a steam. So I call my partner Jade, right? I say, Jade, you gotta go with me, you know, because I ain't going in the steam by myself. I don't even know how boat riders work. To tell you the truth, I was driving quite Shagaramas to think me and realize the Harbour Master is right next to Peaks gas station. Is the treasure queen I looking for? You know, me and I don't sing. I don't know why I'm that way. So look at me now. My problems start immediately. So I say, Jade, you gotta tell your wife this is a non-negotiable. You have to go because you're the only man I could go with. And I know we solid and I know I safe, you know what I mean? Jade know a couple things and he have a couple things, right? I say in case this thing go left, Jade is the man for me to move it. And you know the Goldilocks and the Bears thing with one bed too firm and one bed too slow. I have a next partner by the name of Colonel King. Salute my boy Colonel. He is the bed on the next extreme because if I go anywhere with he's steaming overboard. He extra steamy. I can't take that. And my knees don't work like he own. So I say, boy, Jade looking like the right man. I will move with Jade. We go thing, you know what I mean? But I to tell you the truth now. I started study, but what people is where to go boat ride. Me, I don't have a clue. I wear any same clothes every day for the past 5 years. I say I can't go so. That ain't gonna look good. I can't show up in the podcast clothes, right? So I say, boy, what? And then if I figure out what people is where to go boat ride, because when I say boat ride, as I hear boat ride, I'm looking for a towel and a trunks to swim and a rubber ding, you know. I thinking boat like down the island. So I say, boy, I'm in some trouble here. And then if I figure out what on a boat ride, God know, I don't know where to go no steam. What people is where to go steam? I say, what is this, boy? Well, what I can tell you is I look through my closet and nothing looks steamy. It looked bad. I said, boy, if I thought I was youthful, I have no youth left in me. None. Zero. None. It have no youth left. All my clothes looking like it have, what's the opposite of steam? Vapor? I know what the hell I have in the bed. I didn't build for that. And boy, I still didn't know how to buy clothes. What to do? I'm feeling like I need a big change. What to do? I'm not sure. So I pull out something. I say, boy, you had to be yourself, you know. You can't go nowhere trying to act like no young boy. You had to be comfortable. You had to be cool. So, boy, I find something to wear. I find my way down. Now, the thing say, what I read for you that Adana sent on the invitation, that is the whole invitation. Eh? The thing is saying, well, is a small inclusive, a all inclusive, bring your cooler. But I shame now to ask Adana. Eh? I feeling shame. I want to ask Adana, what are you supposed to do? He's supposed to bring you a drink, so it have a bar. I don't know how the Harbour Master is. A matter of fact, I went and buy a gift and I went Stitches to buy to get thing wrap. I say if it's a birthday party, I'm supposed to walk with that gift. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Keep in mind, never see Lava since the time we do the interview. I never see or hear from her since then. So this is awkward. I ain't sure what to do with myself. But I say, all right, I find something to wear. I muster up and save all my embarrassment and I message her and I said, Dana, what we supposed to do? Walk with bottles or what is the situation? She said, yeah, no glass bottle. Well, thank God she said that. Like she know I completely out of my element. Eh? So she tell me what to do now. This thing starting 7. So here I studying now. I say, boy, if I show up there 6:30, because at my big age, when you tell me 7 o'clock, I used to reach 6:30. But I go look like a buffoon standing up on the boat by myself because me don't know how this is work. So me engineer, Jade is an engineer. We could have fixed something on the boat by the time people reach I sweaty. I telling Jade, I say, Jade, number one, I don't know nothing about boat ride. I don't know nothing about steam. I don't know nothing about this. I don't know nothing about nothing. But I know woman. And I know if a woman birthday party is supposed to start 7, don't reach before 9 o'clock. I know she's a superstar. Birthdays, makeup, and hair. That not running on time in no world. I said, Jade, we had to go down about 9 o'clock, but Jade is my age. So I said, what time you feel we should go? Jade say, 6:30. You know what I mean? Jade say, I feel we need to leave home at the time or what I planning to do on the boat ride. I said, well, what are you planning to do? He says 6:30. I said, well, boy, me and Jade in trouble here. But now I frighten me because if I reach 9 o'clock and the boat gone, then it's more buffoonery coming out here. So I say, all right, we go try and reach somewhere. I leave home 7 o'clock for manners. And I say, well, if bad comes to worse, Adana go message, she go call. I doubt they go leave. If it's an invitation only, at some point they had to make some calls with the people with the last few tickets. You ain't going to leave the boat ride looks past, right? And I can't be the only man running late. Rain falling like hell this Saturday. When I reach down there, about 7:15, the boat for Lava boat ride in Rise and Roast. You know what I mean? The boat Rise and Roast still out. I forget clean. Salute to Bobby. I forget clean. And Rise and Roast was Saturday. And since last year, I tell Bobby I come in Rise and Roast no matter what. I forget clean. So I park up in a gas station from about 7:15 till about the very 9 o'clock that I say I was supposed to reach the boat ride. My whole face ramful because I'm sleepy. I lean back, my thing, I sleep. I snoring hard. I only jumping out of sleep. When I wake up, I thought I missed the boat ride. And at one point I wake up, I thought it was morning. But we went. And I will say this, right? The boat ride was good. Salute to Dion, salute to Manage, salute to Lava, salute to Adana, everybody else involved because, boy, they had a birthday party. It feel like a birthday party. Lava looked good. First time I see her since then, and it was real nice to see her too. And she look good, she look the part, she do the thing on the boat, you know what I mean? It's not when somebody's a star, you know. Lava butterfly around the whole boat. She lied with everybody on that boat for a little 5 minutes. And it was, I will tell you this, right? I had known, just like you listening to this episode now, I only know about 10% of the song that play on that boat. I hear everybody sing along, but I learn a trick at time. A comedian tell me, when you don't know a song and you want to play, no, just say banana over and over. Just go banana, banana, banana. And it looking like you're singing along with any song in the world. Try it in front of the mirror, see it go work. But me have an idea where it is. I was grossly overdressed, but age appropriate. I did not nothing outside. I see people, it has some people dressed like how I was describing the Down the Islands boat ride. So, but it was nice, and I see some good people. The first person I see is Kutain. I mean, Kutain and the crew is people who, them is good people too. You see that little Grandi squad? I like them a lot. I went to his show the other day and I hadn't seen him, so I'm glad I see him, and he and the team was there. So everybody was there. People was in a good mood. The vibes was up. People was having a great time. I learned some new words. Like I keep saying, boy, with this boat, right? Apparently, you're just supposed to say mood. That's all Kutain say. Every time I see Kutain, he say mood. I don't know what it means, but I say mood now too. And then they say function. I don't know. I thought like it's a function, like a birthday party, but they say that is how it is function. So I learned some things, and that is the things I say. Now, I'll tell you the genius behind Lava and the team, right? That morning of the boat ride. Now, remember this Lava birthday party, right? Lava launch a tune. I want to play a piece of the tune for you. No, cork ears, eh? We didn't really do too much of vetting and them kind of thing, right? So cork ears. If you hear something you ain't supposed to hear, Karen, they say 95.5. They say it could fly.
Queen, freak, happy birthday, Lava. I wanna celebrate your birthday. Outside and I yacht for your birthday. Pop champagne for your birthday. I need a money drop for your birthday. I need 2 back shot for your birthday.
What?
3 back shot for your birthday.
What?
4 back shot for your. And if I active, then activate. Why the hell you gonna make me wait? And if I active,
Yes.
then activate. Why the hell you gonna imagine you had on my head done bad? Imagine I sit down, you would stand up.
All right, Lava. Okay, all right. So that kind of program is what the hell is going on here? But genius, because let me tell you something. I always say Lava is a superstar and Lava is a rock star. She is on a different level. And if she continues the way she's going on that trajectory she going, you know what Lava need now? She just need a few of them international collaboration. They just need to get Lava with somebody like, you see when Burna Boy was on like White Hot? You need to get her with him. Or get her with one of these artists who just fly in. Get Lava with Drake. Because she is at different level in terms of putting together these kind of things. Because this birthday song bad, right? And you could see somebody or the team working deliberately in terms of how you build a catalog. Because one of the greatest things you could have as an artist is a birthday song that become a hit. Ask Busy Signal with a happy birthday. He a royal. I'm sure that is one of the songs that given him his biggest royalty payment. Because every day is somebody's birthday. They say the song that pays the most royalties in the world is the regular old happy birthday song. Happy birthday to you is the most played song ever, obviously. If you have how much 1 billion, 7 billion people in the world, it's always somebody's birthday. So you see, and I mean, Lava going in a different direction. And because most people, like Teja, Busy Signal, you know what I mean? Is a celebratory thing with Lava celebrating the Lava way, right? Because I ain't really let the choke, stroke part of the song play it, right? You see the choke, stroke there when they saw, but you go and Google it for yourself, Lava birthday song. So salute to everybody. And all the songs you will hear in this episode is from people who were on the boat ride and perform on the boat ride, because they had performances when Lava started to perform, fireworks going off. It was, I'm glad I went. You know, I will tell you when things started to go left, right? You see, it's just like when I'm playing football. When I'm home, my body feeling stiff and it's in pain, and I studying, boy, I could go and play a little tennis, I could play football, I ain't sure everything hurting. But Cataflam and Olfen and them things is my friends. So when I take 2 of them and I rub down, I start to feel good and your blood get warm and you start to play, you just feel like you're young again. And that's what happened to me on the boat ride. I start to feel young. I start to feel youthful. And I find like all the time I'm watching the boat, I say, but Jade, where this boat going? Where we going so far for? You know, where's the but boy, when the things start to get steamy and performances come and things, I start to feel myself a little bit, boy. A few rum and a few cigars in, I'm starting to feel myself. So I said, what? Boat ride done already? I said, Jade, what is this? I say, like, come on. And I hear after party in Sips on the Avenue, right? So I said, well, we in that, I mean, I done that. I nice. I look into, I said, Jade, we going down in Sips on the Avenue. We taking in the after party. We ain't playing that. Who's we? We in folks too. We in it. Well, boy, I'll tell you this, right? I reach down by the avenue. I see a line in front of Sips. My eyes start to close down. You see, as that air conditioner in that car hit me when I first I had to park quite up Carlos Street by Brooklyn Bar. When I walk down by Sips, I start to feel the pain again, like all my anti-inflammatory wear off. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get myself to go that Sips. I just didn't have it in me. So I went by the deck. I had the worst set of wings I ever. From the time the first wing touched me, that was it. I started to get itis. I got sleepy. From Arapita Avenue to Cascade. I had to hold my eye open to reach you. But again, thank you. Thank you very much to Lava and the team to manage, to Dano, of course, for putting it together. And again, Lava is a star because I have a tune to play for here. See, when this song started playing, that is when the boat ride, that is when I started feel myself.
Touch the road.
Queen.
Nice enough. So is the nickname.
He call me tight. If I never leave, best ever meet trouble, but it's sweet sugar. If he talking about grippy grip, well, he grippy talking about that is me. Candy ball, lollipop. Want to don't ever stop. If want to don't ever stop. And then he sing when he going. I hear him sing when he going. He said the joy in my was make him feel happy, so he sing when he going. Nanny ball out la 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 la. He say oh you, somebody 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 so.
Let me tell you something. All the thing I'm playing, right? Lava songs is not the same when it's edited. You know. Them tune is to play unedited. So I'll get the name of song, right? For people who need to Google name of song. Name of the song is Matrix. Go and listen to the unedited version and on your own time. You know what I mean? Listen to it with each other and then find out how they come into this world. You know what I mean? But salute to Lava, salute to everybody who was on the boat, right? Everything you hear from today, from now on. Well, it might be just apologies for not playing Conqueror at the right time. And songs from the boat ride, because plenty of artists was there. It was nice to see. It was good to see some people. Salute to Akeem 5.0, who's always show a lot of love on the Instagram and on the social media. Hoping to have Akeem here someday soon. You know, once Akeem come, it goes to be a battle between soca versus dancehall and what's supposed to play. And Akeem is looking forward to them kind of battles. So I'm looking forward to it myself. I want to get into some news, right? I want to get into some news because we're back, you know, we're back in again. I want you to forget completely everything we say last week and week before. Because all that is nonsense. Because we're back. They say money ain't no problem. Money is no problem. We're back in the game. Article says by Anna Ramdas in the Express, Kamala Hales Delcy congratulates Venezuelan leader on signing Loran licenses. You know what I mean? I guess who couldn't see this coming? Prime Minister Kamala Bisesa has congratulated acting Venezuelan President Delcy Rodriguez on the historic signing of licenses for the exploration of hydrocarbons in Venezuela's Loran Phase 2 development and the Plataforma Deltana area. I hope I read that right. Prasad Bisesa noted that Trinidad and Tobago stands to benefit from Venezuela's progress with these energy deals. Rodriguez, in a social media post, announced that after 23 years of inactivity, Venezuela is moving for... What? How much years? 23? I thought it was like a year and a half of activities. It was not since election last year. Rodriguez said in a social media post announced that 23 years of inactivity, Venezuela is moving forward with the development of the giant cross-border Loran gas field adjacent to Trinidad and Tobago's Manatee Field. Phase 1 was licensed to Shell, while Phase 2 agreements were signed with BP, XRG, and UCC Holding. Rodriguez spoke about partnering with energy companies, including NGC, of course. Great remedy. In a social media post, Prime Minister shared Rodriguez's announcement and noted the strengthening of energy cooperation between TNT and Venezuela, saying progress on the Loran Manatee gas field signals a major step forward in cross-border energy cooperation and regional development. She said the two agreements signed in Venezuela could send approximately 7 trillion cubic feet of gas from Venezuela to Trinidad and Tobago for processing of the country's LNG and petrochemical plants. So we're back. They're going to open back the programs, CPEP people getting back their contract, Nutrient opening back, everything back in a gear. We have no worries again. Gas is here. Cheap gas is back. Subsidization is back. We in the game. We can't lose, you know what I mean? So all the thing, all they say, I take it out myself on anything I say. So forget what I say last week. All the thing, all the bad talk and thing about the government is working. No, I will say that Delcy herself said it's 23 years in the making. 23 years in Trinidad and Tobago is at least 5 different administration, right? But If I was them, I taking credit for it too. I saying like I now start this negotiation, but they sent Stuart Young in a tizzy. Stuart Young was busy on the social media trying to say this is exactly what I was telling them to do. And politics, and this is what I mean last week when I said don't fall for politicians and their race baiting. Thanks so much for people who last week agreed with me and said that what we see when we leave home and when we go out and we line with people is not the same thing as we hear in the politics. And for the people who disagree, you know. Once we could always talk. I always give in my opinion here. It's just my opinion, and if you disagree, this is food for thought as far as I could see. The think of the episode as a conversation starts. I ain't making no final decision here, even about how I feel. But it's the same thing with this. You know, you go out and you see people having a good time, and then you hear politicians talking about who say the C word and who's 1% and what this one do and what this one thing and then wrongly and that politics. I know a lot of pay less attention to that kind of drivel, to be honest. And it's the same thing as this, right? Because understand that the politician, was it Pandey who said politicians are strange bedfellows? You know, it's a unique thing. Them men and them is agree based on what suit them at the point in time. Because I remember the dragon is dead. I remember, listen, there was a point in time where the same type of arrangement with the dragon gas field was going to be made. I don't know if I forget these things sometimes now, as a man. My memory ain't the greatest. But I remember the most, well, I was going to say most short, the least tenured prime minister in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young, backed by what looked like the VP Rowley at the point in time, the outgoing. Them men and them was trying to get the dragon gas deal signed, and the opposition was, and when I say the opposition, as an entity, led by Kamla Prasad-Bissessar and everybody else around. All of them was saying, Dragon is dead. I'm talking about it as if, number one, the PNM or Stuart Young the PNM under Stuart Young's leadership didn't have what it takes to get the Dragon deal signed. Maybe they was right about that, who knows. And they also talk about it as if the Dragon deal was not going to do anything for us. They say whatever they need to say to get their agenda across all the time. And it's we now. And when I say we, I mean me and you. We just fall for it all the time. We trying to decipher what is what's useful, what's good news, where the country going, because we are trying to mine and trying to send to school and money to save and things to do. And we are affected by everything that happens in the economy or in the political sphere. So maybe rightfully so, we listen to them. And if you already have like I was thinking about something last week where I used to always talk about this, the country split into three parts, right? It have a PNM part, a UNC part, and then an undecided part. But I feel like it's four. And that undecided part might be the smallest group it have. I used to say it's 1/3 of piece, but there's a fourth group of people who don't care at all. Them don't know what Kamla say. Them don't know what Rowley do. Them don't know who is Dragon Gas. Them don't know what... They don't care. They don't care. Them not paying attention to none of that. I living and dying by this, you know, because I don't watch it. I have a son who's 14. And in about 4 years, I had to find university money for you. So all these things affecting what we do. It also affecting whether or not I'm going to continue staying and live in Trinidad at all. Let this podcasting and start to make money. You know? It's the fastest I gone. Because you can't, if you're buying a property and taking a 30-year mortgage, you concerned about what's going to happen over the next 30 years in terms of your income and your family income and the ability to pay it. I remember meeting with a financial advisor, so it's Nick Dean. I remember meeting with him at a point in time, and I tell him, I say, but suppose my son falls sick or suppose something happened to me. You had to be concerned about these things, and again, the economy affects that, because if I fall sick now, I could go in the hospital for free, very, very close to free. And if the economy goes in the direction or continue to go in the direction it's going now, at some point, just like how gate fall off, we don't live in this world at all, right? We believe that, like I remember my light bill story in Jamaica. We believe that education is free and healthcare is free. And we believe that is a universal given, but that is not the case. If you look at places like Canada, it's our first world countries where you're not getting that. Free education. I always remember Jamaica was a place where, boy, at one point in time, I wanted to adopt a little child in Jamaica. I used to buy all these school books, and I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that the boy is 7, 8 years old. And school fees is the reason the mother can send him to school. And I mean, when I hear what the school fees is, I was like, wait, this is where you can't afford to pay it, but better let me pay it. Send me the booklets. I will buy everything because, and again, I'm very, very biased there because school helped me progress a lot. I don't know if it's the same for him, but I thinking, how you go just not go to school? But we take these things for granted. We feel like that will always be the case. The truth is, them things cost money. And we could come to a point where the public healthcare system collapse and they say, here what? Everybody, you can imagine having to pay West Shore and who they call the next friend and them Sinclair. Well, if you feel the fees high now, if they eliminate public health care for free in Trinidad and the demand on them places skyrocket, what you think will happen to the price? It's going to be insane. I can help you quarterback this too, just like what we were talking about with Nestle a few years ago. What will happen is some international, very big healthcare provider, the first thing they will do is come and try to buy the facilities. You see, we have a brand spanking new one in Port of Spain, they go buy that first. I think Point 14 have a big hospital. Somewhere they had built a grande own, relatively new last 10, 15 years too. They go run and buy them thing. They go mothball the old one in Port of Spain. They go probably mothball San Fernando and sell the training college. The same thing that we talking about happening in the energy sector could happen in the health sector. We don't feel it's real. But I can tell you, if that happens, we have a real serious adjustment to make in this country. So I saw this, pay attention to all these things and all the political things. Maybe that's why I pay attention to it too much. And of course, to come and talk to you every week, right? But I just want us to appreciate when we having these discussions that there's a bunch of people there who we feel like we are the third voice. We are the undecided voter. We are the, if according in the words of Dominic Hadid, I vote yellow 3 times and red 3 times, and I vote based on who give me the best policies and all that he said, right? We feel like that. But it has some people who, them don't know what's the issues, they don't care what's the issues, they're not voting for either party. And as the words of Queen Omega, nah read my finger for no government. That's just what the life is for them. So we must remember that them groups exist too. But those groups affected more likely by the kind of basal comments on thing about who is this race and who is that race and who thiefing it. Easy to go along with those things while it might be hard to have discussions about hydrocarbon. I catch me just to read the thing about 7 trillion cubic feet, I guess. So, by any stretch of the imagination, and whoever want to take the credit for this, if a party in power will probably take credit for it. This is a good thing for Trinidad and Tobago right now. I'm eager to see how it pans out because I do remember at one point in time, I think it was under I can't remember if it was under the partnership or under Rowley first term, somewhere between 2013, 14, 15, 16 or there. Somebody come and say, I feel it was a Rowley, and come and say, they find the biggest gas find in the world out in the Gulf of Paris, and they sold this thing as if we back. Like we's Abu Dhabi, you know what I mean? Or no, I could say this Guyana or Suriname, you know? And it turns out that was some old news about the quality of the oil and them things wasn't good and all, so that never got anywhere. So I'm hoping that this means, and from all indications, because what I can tell you is, when them people cussing one another and the thing, and that is not useful. But when you see PNM and UNC, even in their own way, you got to read between the lines, right? But you see when both of them agree on something, then it's probably good for the country. Good for both of them too, right? But good for the country because Siotong was hell-bent that we have to make these arrangements with Guyana, Venezuela. Anybody who know anything know that you needed to get these things done. And when you see the boss and them celebrating it now, so it means that they both seeing the same thing, then it should be good. What we need to see is how does it affect the other industries, because the availability and the fact that we have petrochemicals does help the standard of living in the country. So that is where we have things like, well, free education and healthcare. We could have some add-ons too, like we go back to having free tertiary education. What else we get? Food card and all these kind of things, subsidized gas prices and all those things. I feel like this administration now have a chance to make an adjustment that I feel should have been made or never started really with the Williams administration back in the day and with the Irfan Ali administration I see now. Because if you ever use ChatGPT, I don't stop telling you read books and things, right? If you never hear about it, use ChatGPT and tell it, explain the Dutch disease to you. The Dutch disease is a simple concept where we get dependent on a highly valuable primary resource like oil or sugar or oil, sugar, bauxite, nutmeg, banana, all them. If you look through the Caribbean, they should call it the Caribbean disease at this point. We bank all our money on these things, and then the society ends up developing a taste and preference for champagne because we're making good money. But again, you're only making good money in a very propped up way. Because you have oil and gas, you subsidize everything else so everybody could drive nice cars. Rolls Royce coming back, if only feel sweet car. As soon as oil and gas deal sign, is sweet car coming back Trinidad. So everybody develops this champagne taste, live at a very, very high standard, start back traveling and running all over the place. If this go the way it's supposed to go, by the end of next year, once that thing get in train, that US problem, you could go in the bank and buy how much US you want. Again, the credit card things will be lifted. When all those things happen, our tastes and preferences for goods and services from Amazon, Walmart, Farfetch, Saks Fifth Avenue, American Airlines, all those things going to skyrocket. We're going to go back to what we like to do, buy things abroad and travel abroad every minute of the day and so on. And you will find that it happens at the expense of local industries, right? So that Dutch disease is where you're highly dependent on one thing. And then you get so dependent on that it subsidizes everything else in the society. It tends to, in our case, cause us to spend more money abroad, which makes even the other parts of your economy, like manufacturing and food and beverage and so on, start to shrink now because everybody doing everything from abroad. There's little innovation and so on. And gas is a finite resource. So we will come back. We're in 2026 now. Again, when I was in Lockjack, all these studies then was about, remember her name, Patrick Manning? About a 2020 vision. And the idea behind the 2020 vision is that oil and gas production going to be a problem in 2020. You can't predict the price, right? But the production was going to be an issue. So said, so done. We reached there from 2020 to 2026. So we're bracing for depression, what you call it now, the economy started to shrink from about 2017, 18. You started to see it slow down, and then we're not headed in a good place. What my fear is, and something that I hope we don't do, and there's my comparison to Irfan Ali and on the old Eric Williams admitted when we first get oil, is that the tendency is, I would say, politically motivated. It has more to do with re-election and governance, if you ask me, in my very humble opinion. But let me use Guyana as an example, so it's less sensitive. Is Irfan Ali in charge? You're a very popular president. People love you. Oil and gas come in. The first thing people do as Caribbean people tend to do is, what you going to do for we? What you going to do for we? The cost hard, the place hard, the roads bad, the healthcare system bad. Is that. So what they tend to do now is try to shift money into development. Because, this one is bright. So they will look at other industries and see how they could boost those other industries. But part of what they do is just give people money. Give people money. And when you give away money and you don't get productivity for it, you had a hope that the source of money stays and the source of money had to grow. Because if you keep giving me, and this is a funny thing, somebody will say, I wish I could give the person credit. I can't remember who I was talking to, and they were telling me that every 3 months we adjust psychologically. So if I give you now double your income, you say it takes just about 3 months for you to go from this thing being this great thing where your income double to start being normal. And now you start to believe that you deserve that thing and you should have it and you live based on that. And then imagine this, right? You making 10 grand a month. Tomorrow your boss can say, hey, boy, you're doing a good boy, hold 20. You feel like the greatest thing ever. After 6 months of collecting that 20, if you had to go back from 20 to 18, it's hardship and pain. You can't sleep when the night come, your losses. And you only have 3-4 months of this. You live most of your life making much less than this. But it's human nature. And I can't remember who it was, but he was telling me that 3 months is about the time that we take to make these adjustments. Real interesting concept. So the issue is that when you give away money, people are going to be happy for 3 months. And then because you know what's happening in the 3 months? Within 3 months, your real estate agent, this call, not your real estate, the insurance, them is called first. Them is know when everybody else get money, So the real estate agent is called and them is say, here what's going on? Your life value so much more. You was making 10,000 hours, you're making 20, you know what I mean? So you up your life insurance, you up this, you up your thing, like sometimes your house starts to get a little uncomfortable, you see, boy, I don't have a room here, you know what I mean? You take your air condition down in the back, you have to build up upstairs. Well, don't talk for your car. Because you see the car you had that good and change immediately. Find it, I don't know, like a car relatively new, nothing wrong with my car, but you give me some more money, I say, this car is really burning a lot of gas. I must get me one of those BYD EVs. I have to go and look for we always looking for progress. It is human nature. We always look for it and we want to see ourselves improve over time. So when that 3 months pass and you start to the disbelief of you getting double your income. Well, if you feel double bad, don't go and get 5 times your income and think 5 times your income is divorce. You start to get uncomfortable with your madam and your mister. You want to start a whole fresh life there now. Don't let certain people, don't let certain genders start to make enough money where they can mind themselves and the children alone. Is it for you, You're hearing from them again. You ain't seeing them nor the children again. It's just human nature. So, point I'm making is, when you come into this, let's assume that there's a windfall and we're going to do good. You have to manage this thing about giving away money. Like just giving people free money to do things. Like CPEP and URP is one of them. There's no product, there's nothing to buy. When I say production, I'm not saying productivity. I'm not saying the work that people, CPEP contractors do is not important. But the issue is that if you're doing work that does not lead to anything that can be bought, then you're not stimulating the economy. You're not stimulating it in any way. Giving people money is just transfer payments, basically. You're transferring public funds to people. They get accustomed to that lifestyle. Then 3 months later, they want more money. As an example, PSA still waiting for meeting with CPO over back pay arrears proposal. Now, to tell you the truth, I thought them done with this, I thought them agreed to take the little thing in about 10% cash and about 90% in kudos because they tell them it's some kind of non-cash deal and things. So I was a little surprised to see that this still ongoing. And I ain't lying, the CPO, he's my hero, The CPO have a way. He just if he look ambivalent in the dictionary, like he just always, he never have an expression. He expression neutral, right? I guess that's what he had to do to be a negotiator because I don't think I ever see him smiling. I don't think I ever see him vex. He's just who he is. I don't know he's do home hunting because when I home, they see my face looking thing. He looking like it's there. I don't know, this man face always just neutral. So from Akasamu, Public Service Association President Felicia Thomas says the union is still waiting with this on the CPO to discuss its counter-proposal for settling public officers' salary negotiation arrears while describing the delay as unprecedented and claiming it represents the first unsettled settlement in history. Now, Felicia, I want to be honest with you. Is you say it's settled now? You can't say it's the first settled thing because I remember, and you see how the man face stoic and he don't say nothing. I will never forget Felicia Thomas come in a Facebook post with an envelope and knock the table to say offer in hand. And I know the offer wasn't in hand. She poke her face any same as the CPO. She was looking so stressed and worried when she do that but anybody could have said, Felicia, you don't although even believe what you're saying here. So the fact that always celebrate and say that the thing's settled, only do all kind of photo ops and all kind of comments about it being settled, and then within the same 3-month period, they start to say, well, we settled, but we had to figure out how we paying this back because we do have the cash. Some will be in cash, some will be in this, some will... Again, I spy with my little eye. At one point in time, if I could remember, I want to say it's Marvin Gonzalez, but I can't remember my memory. Stand up and ask them, how I ain't see this in the budget at all. All they say, all they paying back public servants, but I ain't seeing no line item in the boy, they dance. They do a proper dance like why doing Lava Boat, right? And that was the end of that. That fades to black, you know what I mean? But this is the thing. The government come into a windfall of money. Nobody in their right mind as Minister of Finance willing to stand up and say, well, except one very short mind, nobody willing to stand up and say, public servants increases are going to be 0, 0, 0 over the last 3 years. When you don't have the backdrop of a struggling economy. When the economy up, the expectation is that public servants will get much, much more. We will go back to them 9 and 10% negotiation. We used to get that was 5, 5, 3. When you're working to your city and you get a piece of back pay, you're good enough. You could add on the bedroom in the back by your house. Courts going and get money. Neil and Massey and them who selling car, them guys going and get money. That's the reality. You see it all the time. So I feel like we have an opportunity here to not do that. And in not doing that, had to start with us as a society. You see this expectation that because the government making more money now, it must be handed over to the citizens. It feels like a good idea, but I guarantee you the good idea only going to last 3 months. Because let me tell you what's the next problem. It's not just you and how you feel about new money you come in for the last 3 months. The issue is, if you give public servants now a whole bunch of cash, because it's safe to assume that the productivity in the public service now going to go up. They're going to be doing the same jobs, the same outcomes, and you're going to get the cash, which, I mean, you deserve. For how much ever years you're working at, how much ever, people like to say they're working on 2010 salary. I don't even know what I mean, but they bring you up to date now and everybody get an increase. The government in Trinidad and Tobago is still the biggest employer in the country. When everybody get more money, and it still have the same amount of tomato selling. Tomato can't grow fast enough. All it causes is that the price of tomato is go up. Replace tomato with whatever is your favorite thing, with car, with real estate, with insurance, but everything goes up. So that the benefit you think you get when you get an increased salary with 5% and 5% and you get back pay and thing is eroded by the inflationary pressure of that. So, again, the opportunity is there for some minister of finance who's Tanku. They should put the CPO in to come and tell people, here we're going on. We getting a windfall of money, but these are the things we need to fix in the economy to make sure that the economy making more money outside of oil and gas. Data center looking like one. They say where the data center is. It's down Golconda side somewhere on that side, to Aruba side somewhere. It's happening. So whatever the new thing is, whatever the new industry is, maybe it's mobile police station, whatever we investing in now, because we have the first set of mobile thing in this country that can move. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. We have a whole set of mobile police station that cast down with cesspit and them. I want to know what part of it mobile. Maybe it's the police that mobile. But just fair one, again, I'm very, very happy. I'm relieved actually when I saw that deal was signed, because like everybody else, I following up on it. I'm watching to see, well, where are we going next? What is happening? But it looked like we have money coming in. And I'm hoping that means the stain of the execution of some of the big energy companies. I see we have steel plant coming, them going to need gas. So, hopefully it holds over. I see this morning, I was in my pad now. Let me read this. Nutrient Review advances with third-party visits to Point Lisa's facility. Nutrient Strategic Review of its Trinidad nitrogen operations is continuing, with representatives from third-party organizations expected to conduct site visits at Point Lisa's facility this week. The visits form part of Nutrient's ongoing evaluation of its future Trinidad operations, which has remained shut down since a controlled shutdown in October last year. Guardian Media has been made aware of documents circulated internally to employees which indicate that third-party site visits are taking place as part of the review. The document dated last Monday said the Nutrient continues to evaluate all strategic options for the facility, including the exploration of a potential sale. I don't have any more information on this than what I see in the papers, but I will say that when they say third party, that looking like when you carry a car, you put your car on Facebook or pin.tt, it has some third parties that's come there. So I guess as a company, as an international or global company, they going ahead with their decision, or from a strategic standpoint, to look to sell the plant. The third party people can't be coming here as a cleanup. It has to be to look at the plant and see its viability. No, a decision ought to be made at this point, because if we know in the public that the gas deal signed, the people behind the scenes here would know that the gas deal was going and signed, right? So I'm eager to see what the move is here. From a strategic standpoint, does Nutrient decide, hey, all right, good, we get the gas price that we want, we get the port prices that we want, and we stay in, or do they sell it? And then sell it to who? That sell it to who looking like they have a familiar group who, when you ask sell it to who, like the same thing when you sell it to who with Hilton. It's a familiar group of names calling it, Trinidad politics sweet. Let me go back to the lava boat, right? And talk about thing where see the good cuisine, Always good to see these fellas. So when performances start and thing, lava, of course, is fireworks and them thing. But the Kutain is a little bit like me in that he hides so far in the back of that boat is a shame. Everybody who is somebody and all the artists up close to the stage and in the zone and thing, boy, you could barely see Kutain down in the corner. At one point, I see artists started playing. Artists started to perform. And his Akima to say, Raga, lava birthday, what we gonna do? And he went up and let me tell you something. He's the next one, could be a mega star. Like I tell the team when I went to the show in Songforge, I can't wait to see them men go and sell out Madison Square Garden. But I have a tune for you from Kutin. I go, he's all up, right? I go play one all you're supposed to know.
It have me in a jam again. Feel like a movie. When you throw it back on me, I feel no stress again. Let we dance in a jam way, jamming. Feel the rhythm in the ground. Thank you for the love, baby. Darling, let me party. Look back on all along. Welcome to Jam Town, baby. We jamming, dong, 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 dong. It's we at the Jam Town jamming. Look, we jamming, dong, 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 dong. It's we at the Jam Town jamming. And we jamming, dong, 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 dong. It's we at the Jam Town jamming. Look, we jamming, dong, 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 dong. It's we at the Jam Town jamming. Look at the
Let me tell you some of the feedback I get sometimes, which real encouraging. I was leaving Kutin show today, and a man come and tell me, say, boy, you is the reason I come here, you know. I say, well, I is the reason you come here. I could have barely stay up late enough to go Kutin show you. I is the reason you come here. And he said, no. He said, boy, I watched that interview with Kutin about 10 times, you know. He said that make me start to know he and start to realize that, boy, he's a man to take in. And he is, because the way, all the limey in the back of the boat, you know, when they call him to perform, other than they had several performers. I will play a tune from all of them before I get out of here. But he had to go and sing, right? He's a singer. He's not chanting like Lava or anybody. You know what I mean? He had to sing and whole note. And it's amazing the comfort he do that with from the back of that boat, right? And I mean, I guess when they're there, they expect to perform, so that he's not completely out of it. But he take that mic and rip that boat right in half. You know what I mean? And it's just one of them guys. Special youth. Salute to Kutin, salute to the team. How about the police station and them? They say 3 of the 30 planned joint army police posts are 95% completed, says Homeland Security Roger. They're still talking. Speaking with TV6 in a phone interview yesterday, he said three almost completed posts are located at Grand Bazaar, Toruba, and Eddie Hart Grongs in Tacarigua. I believe since this article, I saw them, I see drone shots and thing of Toruba complete. I hope it means complete and occupied. Asked when they would be commissioned, Alexander said the date would be set by Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. He said the staffing for the post will be decided following a meeting. What? The staffing for the post will be decided for... I thought the name of the game was Keep Up, not Catch Up. All you didn't decide on this yet. So you build the thing and now... Anyway. The staffing for the post will be decided following a meeting with Police Alistair Guevara. Who's Alistair Guevara? You're wrong. You're from me in a long time. Chief of Defense Staff Commodore Don Polo next week. All right. So the police and army now looking to see how they staff. This is perfect. The staffing is a strategic agreement between the police service and the Chief of Defense Staff. He explained he also spoke about the process by which a community will be allocated an army police post. He said that will depend on the crime in the area. We are asking for information from the police. Oh, this had to be for the next 27. Like, what is this? They're making it, but this has to go along, or this is not like a plan thing. We can't hear them call areas with the thing going. What's happening right now? He said it will depend on the crime in the area. We are asking for information from the police or the crime and problem analysis unit for the statistics on crime according to the area. But we know it's at 30, right? So, but while we're looking at the crime in the area, these units are not only just for the purposes of preventing crime, but also to foster good relationships between the police service and the defense force, members of the public, through constant communication and visits to schools, churches, businesses, residents. But if make it up as you go along with our people is we, yes. I never hear nothing like this yet. Them is figuring out the answers to these things when somebody asks a question. The minister said you might see these structures going down, but just as they go down, they can be removed. That's why we call it a mobile unit. Well, as of today, my house is a mobile unit because just as it went down, it could be removed too. But what I mean is the whole foundation, all it digging cesspits on NGC line and them thing, it's having gas now, you know. You know, the first thing I say when I see this thing, I say, but all you say, the country had no gas on NGC thing non-commissioned. Delcy signed the gas deal, now the cesspit is on top of a gas line. Is this special? This is what you do when you plan years ahead. When you have 23 years to plan something, this is exactly how it turns out. He said the mobile post can be upped, dismantled, and moved again. Simple as that. You know what has been upped, dismantled, and moved again? The North Stand. I see that for many, many years. Where the North Stand get upped, dismantled, move again, and rebuilt. I am not sure again how useful that is as a strategy. a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it's real money wasted. But you see, I talking about money wasting from this fourth group, this little call we the 5%, right? It's a three ways, it's have undecided, PNM and UNC, and then it's at the 5%. I will call we the little 5% squad, right? The 5% squad understand that if every year you build up that North Stand, number one, it's dangerous. Number two, it's not cost effective. We're using it all the time and we could find use for it. And there's a cost to breaking down, there's a cost to building back up, there's a cost for mobilization. There's a cost for mobilization to build it and mobilization to take it out. So every time we're paying this cost for the last how much ever years. The 5% will say, well, why we don't just build a permanent stand or move the parade route or change it? I hear a man make a real good suggestion. You know, you say when they was building Napa, he said what we could do at that point in time is bite the bullet, break down the grandstand, let the grandstand face in the next direction, build a next stand on Napa side that have to do with Napa activities. So Napa has now an amphitheater and thing they could use whole year. And now it facing the road and make the road the stage. I find it was a real good suggestion. Me and how much it will cost something, but it makes some sense because now you could leave the grandstand as a permanent structure in the savannah. Now it will be facing south. Have all the offices, because I believe NCC offices, there are some offices in there and thing, and you have a permanent structure that anybody could rent and use for different things. Build it like how you build Napa, where it has zones, people could do conferences, whatever you could do. And then let Napa manage the next side. And then when it's Carnival Monday and Tuesday, or the times when you need it for a parade, you just let people go there and the thing. And then you have a more permanent, if it's a land of Carnival, we should be like doing things that are not mobile for a Carnival that come in every year. But apparently we are specialists in building mobile things that kind of permanent and fixed, you know what I mean? So while the units being constructed and we could move them. So what he's saying basically, if I hear him right, is that we have 30 hotspot areas. We're not sure how much crime in each area. We're still waiting on that from the police, right? And we're not sure how much people we go put in there. We're waiting for the police and the army to think, but we know we need 30, right? So we know we need 30. So we got to figure out what to put them 30 as we go along. When we put the 30, if Golconda is one of the 30 or Eddie Hart is one of the 30 and the crime pat down there, and then St. James started heat up. We go break down Eddie Hart quick and put it in St. James. But then when you go to what Eddie Hart, the crime will just move. But again, the situation is fluid. I think that should be the new answer. I don't think I have PR work, you know. We're done now. I don't think I have PR work for this government. All they just had to say every single time, the situation fluid. We're working it out as we go along. All you know are paying attention, right? We got driving across the savannah every day to go home. Every day I had to pass it. And I'm seeing the northern side of the savannah, pell-mell construction going on. Savannah Parade works only temporary, says Alexander. This is one of the greatest things I've seen in a long time too, right? Because that, number one, is not looking very temporary, right? Thing paving, structure going down, the structure and thing looking like trussing and scaffold and thing, but it wants a foundation. It's human being you put in there, you know, and the most important human beings in the country go in there, so I know they're going to make it stable. If it was me and you, the rest down to scaffold there and some board and thing like what they do in Emancipation Village, you know, and every man for himself, but the most important people there, so the standard foundation and thing. Let me read what it says. Enhancements being made, and the word enhancement is doing a lot of work in this sentence. Enhancements being made on the northern side of the Queen's Park Savannah to accommodate the 31st of August Day Parade, which will be removed after the event. Says Minister in the Ministry of Housing. Why he talking about this? Oh, he's the sentence man. Okay. UNC Shadow MP for Port of Spain, St. James Philip Alexander. Alexander spoke amid concerns about growing encroachment on the savannah. As we say, is the Carlos John effect. On Sunday, the government officials, including Alexander, confirmed that the parade will be held at a location opposite the President's house on the northern side of the Queen's Park Savannah instead of its usual venue at the grandstand on the southern side. Now, the consensus in this room is that they're doing that so they don't get booed, right? They don't want to face the public because they know all your PNMites going to come and boo the people and tell them, I will remember you gave us food tomorrow when we asked for food today. After I know the woman who's there, she didn't live here. She have food for it. But the parade route changing. Now, I'm struggling to figure out because as a man is one to have balance and understand the reason people do things. I don't think people mad. I feel is the best and brightest people we have in charge. But I had to tell you, every day that passes, I sign to agree with the people inside here because I cannot see what's the point of this. I can't see. Number one, the stand real small compared to the grandstand. What I'm building up there and calling a stand can't hold no set of people. it leads me to believe that what is going to happen is that the entire stand is only going to be accessible to people who were invited. It's like lava boat ride. Because you know what was nice to see? I see everybody who come off a rise and roast, like they didn't get enough rising and roasting, so all of them on their phone trying to figure out how to gain lava boat ride now. But lava boat ride was not paid thing, it's by invitation only, so I know who gets on, but the people from rise and roast really would have liked to stay and party with lava. That would have been nice too. I'll find some people in my age group there. But it feels like one of those things. It feels like when they're done with this stand, they're going to say it is only for invited officials. I starting to wonder if they go invite the opposition at all, because it might make them men take some hot sun and thing, you know. I mean, only who really want to sit down next to some Gonzalez and Penny and these people. But I suppose they had to do it, right? Let's hope. Let's hope they do the right thing here. And they trust that Stuart Young can go boo and thing. He's a man that's had trouble with too much a riser and thing, you know. When you see he had to walk up riser, he has times a boo. He's accident prone, you know. So he will be focused. He can't boo. So they're going to get the people who in opposition, I assume. And that will be a little small percentage of the crowd in the area, so and pull a little one side away from the thing. And then flood it with friends and family and supporters of the UNC. So what you're going to see is a lot of board members, a lot of parliamentarians, a lot of bloggers and vloggers and so on, because the social media narrative coming out for this Independence Day is going to be strong. And I hear they say they have a drone, what they call it thing now, a drone display to do. I wish they would do drone displays instead of the fireworks. I like to see the fireworks, you know, like lava fireworks was good. That's out in the sea. It can't frighten the dog, and them. I don't know if it's do the fish on them or anything. But I just find that the fireworks is such a waste sometimes. So I'm looking forward to the drone show. Let me see what that look like. But again, as we approach, we have 2 more weeks till independence. I still stand by the statement that I find it to be one of the biggest wastes to build this Carlos John thing at the top of the savannah there. Because it's a thing that temporary in this country is starting to get permanent real fast, because as they find use for that, they go find some other use. And, you know, it's have a way it's going up now and it's struggling to come down. Because I also feel like when Bravo was here, he was talking about it. He was talking about the fact that several sports clubs, like running on them things, the national rugby team on them, they use that area, the savannah, to train. And if I am to take any of the very, very detailed and meticulous planning that went into deciding where police posts are supposed to go in these 30 places and what should be mobile and immobile and so on, or the great, great planning and strategy that went into arresting people under PDO and letting go people, but letting go 2 of the people, but one had to stay under house arrest, and the house arrest van had to move from Bayshore and go by Riverside. If I'm to take that level of planning in place, I had to assume that this thing in the savannah, in terms of where it was planned out well. The environmental effect was planned. I had to assume that all those things were planned out very, very well, because I live long enough to see when certain people say the savannah need this and the savannah need that, which it did, because we benefit from Carlos John space all now, right? But it could have taken a little more planning so that downtown don't start to flood immediately after you pave the thing. But we forget. A man I shan't forget. There's a young gentleman by the name of Crystal. I'm telling people on the team, you're like, Tano is a man I need to see. I need to sit down with Tano. I don't understand what happened, why I can't get Tano in here yet. And Crystal is one of them men I want to see soon too, because Crystal, again, young, bad man. I see him on the boat, and there's a salute to him. He say, you know, he's listened to all your interviews. I say, boy, he's listened to everything you do too. And he's one of the men who went up. I'll get our next little tune, you know, right? I know Crystal. When I say Crystal, the people who listening to this expecting to hear the parrot and the dumb boy. Not that Crystal, this Crystal.
Whoa, Bambadi day. Tell a lie yet. I love your energy and your style. Oh no, you're sweet like a Corie Sheppard and a rice. Hey, tonight I swear you're going to be mine. Oh, come now, darling, I'm feeling to wine and break with you, yeah. let me take a jump till the morning. Out on the road, just look how we drinks and girl get done. Come let me play a mass till the morning. I'll be no feelings watching the girl then carry on. Oh, I come out to give them now. It's plenty girl and it's with them now. See look at trouble we giving, good trouble we giving. T&T is love, just watch how we living now. Oh no, cause it's back on all time when me reach out there. When I touch on the road, don't tell me nothing. Girl go down, drop it there. Bad from your band, they can't tell you nothing. Cause it's back on all time when me reach out there. When I touch on the road, don't tell me nothing. Girl go down, drop it there. Bad from your band, they can't tell you nothing. Ooh, darling, I'm feeling to wine and break way. Ooh, yeah, 'cause I'm in a party mood. Hey, I could wine on a bumper too. Ooh, darling, I'm feeling to wine and break way. Ooh, yeah, 'cause I'm in a party mood. Come let me take a jump till the morning. Out on the road, just look how we drinks and girl get done. Come let me play a mass till the morning. I'll be no feelings watching the girl then carry on. Oh, I come out to give them now. It's plenty girl and it's with them now. See look at trouble we giving, good trouble we giving. T&T is love, just watch how we living now. Christmas.
You know, one of the biggest difference between music then and music now is them men make some songs short, you know. If a man had catch this groove like Christo in his 70s, 80s, this song would have lasted about 15 minutes long. This song is barely 2 minutes. You don't like them. Let me tell you a random story right before I get out of here, and it's something I can understand. And as I say, for people who in the comments, something I appreciate the comments, I appreciate the feedback, but I appreciate the debate. I ain't here for you to agree with everything I say. I don't know much less for everything. You know what I mean? So I always welcome it and open to it and open to correction on anything. What I say wrong, I will fix next week too. And you know, if you give me a perspective that change my mind, that's what we're here for. I think all of us, the 5%. We in it for the betterment of the place, right? But you know who can't take being wrong at all, or who obsessed with being right? And I can't understand it. Let me read the article here that I read, right? And I think, in my little naive mind, that anybody who read this article should have the same sentiment. Because whether you're a mother, a father, you have brother and sister, you have whatever you are, you're human. So I think when I see an article like this, everybody should be thinking the same thing and feeling the same way. Headline says, police probes sudden death of an 18-year-old. Police are investigating the sudden death of an 18-year-old student who became ill at a Gasparillo home on Friday night. The deceased is Jeddah Bihari of Happy Hill. Rest in peace, our condolences to the family. Who was a student at School of International Travel and Languages, CITAL, a place where I lecture coincidentally, and the lead dancer for a troupe in Gasparillo. According to the police report, Bihari was spending time at the home of her boyfriend in Ben Lamon village when she began complaining of sudden chest pains around 10:40 p.m. Police were told that she subsequently began gasping for air, and her boyfriend attempted to administer CPR and alerted relatives who also tried to revive her. Bihari was taken by a relative to San Fernando General Hospital, where she was treated by doctors. However, she was pronounced dead around 11:46 p.m. Again, sad. 18 years old. I mean, those situations, unimaginable. Like, to imagine the pain of a parent in a situation like that, losing your 18-year-old. This girl pursuing tertiary education, she's a leader of a dance troupe. These are the kind of things where anybody could relate to how difficult that is for somebody to go through that. I always feel like it don't take much to figure out how tragic that is. I can't imagine what the boyfriend going through, because you're good, you're having a lime, you know what I mean? Your girlfriend come over and then it escalates quick, and then you hear news now that this person is no longer with us. For all of you who pass a certain age, you start to study your mortality and how long you go take and how much. Dominica did say, do a eulogy. Tell yourself how much more years you have left. And when I do my calculation, I have less years left than I done live already. Plenty of us who listening to this in that situation. But 18, you don't even study them kind of thing. You don't study at 18 that you could lose your girlfriend or your brother. Them thing don't even enter your mind. You just living. But for some strange reason, that is not the sentiment of everybody who read the article. Because like I say, it has some people who hell-bent on being right, no matter what they're sounding like or how insensitive they're sounding. Because on Facebook, and I promised myself the other day I'm going to stop reading Facebook comments, right? They have a bunch of comments that saying the same thing in terms of how sad it is and all those different things I say and the tragedy associated with it. But they have some people in the comments, and you see it all the time now when young people pass away. The first thing they start to talk about is the vaccine. I wonder who these people are. Like, what is your upbringing? Like, how you feeling in life? Like, when you go to work on a daily basis, what is beyond your mind? Where did you study? Because for you to be so self-righteous and so you love yourself so much that during COVID, all they had this idea that the people who take any vaccine is sheep and and who don't want to take the vaccine and thing, which I am fine with. I never really liked the idea of a mandatory vaccine. It's a very, very tricky thing. I understand what we was going through as a world at that time. We see it now where Fauci paying the price for some of the decisions that were made at that point in time, and questions can be asked about whether the vaccine was a good thing, a bad thing, a mistake, a deliberate thing, or whatever. I just wonder if like the article where they're talking about an 18-year-old passing away, is that the best time you feel to come in the comments to say vaccine? There's a vaccine. Check the shot. Check the jab. And where to check it? Check it for yourself now, right? COVID injection acting up. Is the vaccine. I'm sure she was vaxxed. And this and that. You check the comments, and I want you to don't check it just with this situation. Again, condolences to the family and everybody involved in this. That is not no easy thing that family going through right now. And I just feel as though there's an opportunity to shut up. In the words of the youths, STFU. At a time like this, if that's what you come up with, like be right in your mind and be righteous in your mind and just say that and move on. Because for the life of me, I cannot understand why that is the response to things like that. It's just one of them things. I see it this week and it bothered me to no end because sometimes I just don't understand we. I don't understand we. I could go on to lighter things. And again, maybe it's my fault, because clearly is we spending too much of time in the comments. Hey, wait now. While I reading this, wow, about 10 minutes left, right? While I reading this, I see in here a headline with the PSA president sitting next to Barry Padarat saying there's no moral authority. Hey, I line Trinidad sweet. The PSA president tells Marvin Gonzalez to stay out of Wassa business. She wasn't just fighting like that. Listen, according to the wise words of Duke, this fungunung sweet, you can't go wrong in this country. It must have thing for you to back and yourself and them kind of thing. Another place where I see the comments very, very wild. I find this was such a nice article. You know what I was worried about in my spare time? I don't like how Patrick Manning went out. I bad talk politicians to no end. I feel a career politician, them looking to sort out themselves. Well, you know how I feel about that, right? But one of the nicest things I ever see in this country is the little time we get to see Patrick Manning and Basdeo Pandey in them little press reunion when them men play their card and thing to just show that it's normal people, you know what I mean? They're just cool and they're talking and playing their card like normal. I hope one day, boy, but the way thing going, me if I could ever see that, nah? I hope one day I could see Kamla and Munilal play a all-fours game against Rowley and Stewart. Well, if you live to see that, right? They're going to beat each other to death wrong that table. You never live to see that. But when they get old and thing and you retire, and you know what I mean, only retire on a nice little cushion as politicians, only set up all themselves nice and thing, little airport contract and Sunway and these. They're really good now. It would be nice to see them laugh and so. I really feel for the Manning family at the time, for the country as a whole. When Patrick Manning, you fight so hard with this politics thing. And then when you're done now, you ain't get to enjoy good retirement and let people celebrate you, because the newer generations that come up inevitably see them as just old people. So they forget all the things that they do, and I wish that for people sometimes. And I feel good to see, as much as our bad talk rollers over the years, I just feel good to see him, and it's somebody who I admire for he seems to be a very disciplined man. He's be angry a lot, right? One day I will get to talk to him, he'd be angry. I will ask him what you're just upset about because your life is good. But that man very, very fit, maintains himself well, and that's something I admire somebody that age. But I see a little article again. Headline says, from courtroom to canvas, Sharon Rowley fulfills lifelong passion for art. And then a nice little breakdown. She had a piece of art there. I think it's through Blue Shutters, I believe the name of the piece of artwork is. If Sharon Rowley, this is by Cherise Moore, if Sharon Rowley had her way, she would have pursued a career in the creative field. Ever since she could recall, she had a strong passion for visual arts. Her favorite subject in school, however, she was at Bishop's Anstey High School. When she was at Bishop's Anstey High School, she was encouraged to explore other parts considered more practical, and that is when she went on to become a lawyer. So they show a painting that she revealed recently, and she says she dabbled with it. Her husband and everybody used to tell her, girl, you know, why you don't pursue your art? And I find the piece, well, no, I gotta tell you that, right? I can't write in a straight line. I can't sign my name too good. Me are the best of these things. So maybe I easy to fool when it comes to artwork. But what she do here, I couldn't do. I could tell you that. A painting by Sharon Rowley, the title Beyond the Blue Shutters. And it was featured at an exhibition in Barbados. I find the thing real nice, and I feel more than anything else that I'm glad for the woman, because to live in a life of politics, and she's the wife of a politician, that's no easy thing. And when you reach in your latter years, especially looking good as she look healthy, just she and her husband, in terms of what you call it, royal family, ministerial, presidential family, nobody ain't better looking than two of them. They fit and like fiddle, and they're looking good. Sharon could have been on the boat ride with Lava. She'd have fit right. She'd have fit better than me. She might have go sips after too. So I thinking, you know, this is such a nice thing, but boy, you know, in the comments, they cuss this woman all in, and people, maybe again, I think I am the problem. I just had to stop reading comments on them things. But again, from us, congratulations to Sharon Rowley. Find your retirement thing. Find something to do that you're enjoying. Find something to do that you're good at. I have a good friend who might, you know, I was talking to him and he was talking about, you know, maybe it's retirement time for him. And he was saying, you know, when you look at your health and you look at your age and think maybe you have 20 more years to live at a, you know, very decent level where nobody had to take you and sick every minute and thing. And he was like, boy, I was watching this retirement thing as maybe negative, maybe I'm too young for that. He said, but now I feel like I have the opportunity. He say, if I take 10 years, he say in 10 years you could master something. So I hear him talking about golf and maybe taking you 10 years to master your golf swing and them kind of things. And maybe there's a good way to look at retirement rather than an end, look at it as a new beginning. So salute to him for looking at it that way. And I mean, I hope that as I start to turn that corner too, I could be as positive about it as he is. But it depends on how much boat rides I really go. I'm going to leave a little bit too much tuning. I'm going to leave a little a few more of the people I see on the boat ride. This is where I'm going to sort of confuse people a little bit here, because a Bajan man by the name of Jordan English on the thing, right? I had to ask people here who is Jordan English when I come in, because I hear the man sing the song. Me know what he's saying, but somehow it vibesy.
Boy, Harbajan. I've been looking for the words to describe you, and really and truly it's just like, use the type of woman that like, alright then, use the type of woman that will make a man or break a man or make a man go and get some money that he never had. Make a man book a flight to somewhere that he never been. Take you up and fly you up, you end up in the Netherlands. No, he in the Netherlands was saying that he never had. He gave peace and it wetter than he ever had. He said looking like a flash flood running with deep swells. Got him moving like the weatherman. You got the super soaker, the rat, the nigga hacker, the nigga jacker, the knock, the spin splasher, the paw washer. You gay? Alright then, you got it. Who got it? You got it. Who got it? You got it. Who got it? You river giver, the seven figure. Miss grippery, slippery, feel like she tricking me, but I love trickery. Boy, I know she tricking for the more. Miss Water Parker got you kicking out the door. River giver girls run the road, alright then. Deserve diamond and pearls, alright then. Deserve triple on the road.
I had to play it, because when I see the reaction, you know, one of them things I remember going to a club in Miami at time, right? Me and was partner Kelly Atana, salute to Kelly. Them grilled peppers, right? We go on a club in Miami, and them days they have a song saying, I think it's all I do is win, no matter what. Huh? No, is it everybody hand go up and they stay there? Me know the song, eh? In Miami and we having a time, boy. Everybody hand gone up except we. I try, balling. When Jim Jones sing balling, everybody say balling, and everybody bust a basketball shot. Me and Kelly start watching one another. We have no idea what people doing anything. We're just looking like losers. That's how I feel when that Jordan English come on, because the only thing I understand in the whole song is use the kind of man and Netherlands. Me know what he's singing between I don't know. If you want an age check, start to realize the time when you cannot understand nothing nobody saying in a song. Nothing nobody saying. Somewhere in the middle of the dance before I get out of here, I hear people say, calling Mr. Aaron St. Louis to the stage. Now, let me tell you something. You see, artistry is a hell of a thing. Because just voice passing through that event and doing a two tune, lift the event to another level. And again, Lava, I'm going to wrap up on a Lava, right? It's only right as Lava, but it's happy birthday to Lady Lava, happy birthday, great Keisha Harris back. I tell you, when voice reach up there, the event is just go to another level. And that's why I say, to me, a Lava could be a globally recognized, like Rihanna and Beyonce and them level. I'm not sure if people paying attention to who she is and the way she's command a crowd. Because if it was my birthday and I on a boat ride, and Kuta in there, and Voice there, and Christo there, and Jordan English there, somebody had to sing before me. I can tell you that. They only had one of that crowd. I not going out there first. While music playing, Lava walk up there, take the mic, and rip the place immediately. And she start calling up artists on the stage. She's on another level. But again, this gentleman by the name of... this man will go down in history as one of the greatest all the time. Great Aaron St.
I sure this music is more than noise. I can't behave myself. All when I jump in with my friends, I can't behave myself. Soon as the music hit there, I can't behave myself. Go on the back and not the end. I can't behave myself.
Let me leave you with this one now. Thanks to people like Vaughn at Bigfoot and so on. All you might know this one and all your knee hurting might know. If you tap your foot too hard to this episode, you could be looking for surgery come next week. You could be looking for a knee replacement, a hip replacement. This one gonna be bad. I hope all you went easy, but for the seasoned among us, this might be the only Lady Lava all you know. I like all you play, all you like Lava and thing now, but this might be the one all you know.
Now the ring on the finger. I show outside with my girls this summer. You don't have a ring, then you don't have a mister. Hands up, let me see a finger. Up, let me see a finger. You don't have a ring, girl, bend for the camera. You to bend, 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 you to bend. You don't have a ring, girl, bend for the camera. You to bend, 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 you to bend. You don't have a ring, girl, bend for the camera. But my man and my man and my man and my man and my man, girl, stop that shit now.
Alright, that's the part I ain't like really, you know. It's kind of my man and my man and my man. Because you both have a ring on all your finger and bending still, all your bending still. I don't like it. If you don't have a ring, then it's you to bend. But you have a ring, your man right there by bending. I ain't like what Lava encouraging, no, but again, happy birthday. Thank God birthdays is only come once a year. Because I can't make too much in them boat ride, you know what I mean? I do my best. I stand up for real long. A lot of compression in the spine and the disc and thing right now. I do decompress, so I go and I'll see you all next week. Bye.